I am a foreigner in the Philippines. I better make my apologies right now because that rooster that everybody loves and that loves to make its noises right in the middle of whatever sentence I'm making is right there. And I have murder in my heart. Don't do it, rooster! So, something I really wanted to mention today, that I'm reading a book called The Emerging Science. It's not an easy book to read. You have to really focus on it. Sometimes I can only manage, maybe a couple of pages at a time, but it's revealing so many things to me, and it's saying what the title suggests, the emerging science. And we have this thing, especially for me. I live with a lady who is a staunch Christian, and she views things in terms of the Lord, of God, of all of these things which are heavily religious in the organized religion sense, and I don't do that. We don't have any trouble, or we don't have a problem in agreeing to agree or agreeing to disagree. It's just that we think. And one of the things that comes about the most is the way that we believe in a creator. My wife, I always tongue-in-cheek. I'm not trying to put down anybody who believes in the purely Christian way at all, but I have a problem in trying to think of the Creator as being like the grandfather in the Waltons, that lovely old man with a very benign way of looking at everything and everybody. Wouldn't it be wonderful if that was the case? And as nobody has ever come back yet that we know about, that remembers that he's come back, we have to accept that it's the jury's out, and maybe everybody who believes in a very simplistic approach to the Creator may well be right. But the man that wrote the book that I'm reading right now, and my camera man is doing something else, heaven knows what, but because she's so beautiful, I accept that whatever she's doing must be the right thing. Are you fixed now, honey?
Yeah, I'm trying to charge the battery because it's low battery.
Trying to charge it.
Yeah, continue.
Okay, I can continue. I've been told. There's the rooster. I warned you. So, I'm trying to come to terms with different ways of looking at things. And one of the things that seems to me to give people the most trouble is the thought of turning the other cheek. And yet those same people, including myself, believe firmly in the law of karma. And the law of karma is what you do will be done to you. What you do to others will be done to you. Now, I have no doubt that I have been the liar and the lied to, the cheater and the cheated, the betrayer and the betrayed. I've been the victim and the murderer. I've been around many, many lifetimes, so all of these things will have fallen to me at some point or other in my path to trying to become worthy of rejoining the Creator, which is how I think of it. Beth thinks about that she's going to go to heaven, and she tries to behave in a way right now which would warrant the free passage to that wonderful place. In essence, we both think the same thing. I want to return to the Creator, and she wants to return to the right hand of God. Is it so different? There go the chickens. Sorry about that. We're on a farm, okay? So coming to terms with that is quite a problem. Now, one of the things that this man who wrote the book, The Emerging New Science, one of the things that he wrote about in there was about karma. And in just a few sentences, he explained it better than I've ever heard it explained before. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a printed book. I have a Kindle. So, short of going in and getting the laptop and dragging it out here and looking up the appropriate page, I'm going to have to wing it and paraphrase. But what he says, in essence, is that when we come to that point where something is done to us which outrages, offends, hurts, damages, injures us, that's the point at which Christ would have said, turn the other cheek. Now that was a very simplistic way of saying, turn the other cheek. Do not respond. And the writer, Dr. Noel Huntley, makes the point by saying, depending on how you respond to whatever offence is made to you, that's whether you've learned the lesson. So in other words, if somebody comes up and insults you, and boy, straight back again, you insult him, nobody gets it on me. I got a sharp tongue, I got a sharp brain, I can up you on anything that you say. Yeah. Okay, well, you haven't learned the lesson because you perpetuated the same thing. Now you're going to do the same thing again. You've done the same thing again. Somebody else will do it to you. Eventually along the line, you will realize that this is not helping. I'm not learning anything. That's the point that's made in the book. I'll tell you the title again, even though you can play this video again and find out. But it's called The Emerging New Science. And Dr. Huntley just simply says, depending on your response to whatever is done to you, depends whether you've learned the lesson or not. Because at some point back there, you did something to deserve whatever is now being done to you. Now that's a very difficult one to accept, because we all like to think of ourselves as being blameless, and to help us to do that, we have the ego. Now the ego will see you dead before it will allow you to be wrong. This is very, very true. If you want to see how true that is, think about some moment when you have, for heaven's sake, heaven forbid that you may have experienced some road rage, but if you experience some road rage when somebody cut you up, in England they'd say carved you up on the road, in America I think they say cut you up, and they did something which angered you, boy, you can get right after them and you can do something that is so stupid that it actually endangers not only other people's lives but your own, in order for you to be right. So you have that mechanism of making others wrong in order to make yourself right. And if you have any degree of honesty with yourself, you will be able to look back probably in the last week when you have done exactly that. You have made others wrong in order to make yourself right. That's the ego.
In other words, covering yourself in lies.
To
make it right.
Yes, justifying yourself.
Oh, not good.
I mean, you and I would never do this, of course. Of course. And the viewer, whoever is looking at this video, it's not about you
But
and me.
how about, remember in business they call it white lies, you know?
White lies. Well, that's not really about justifying, is it? Unless of course, you are justifying something that you did, and then rather than admit that you're wrong. That would be the ego, yes.
Yeah, because I remember when I was in college, my classmate asked our advisor, is it white lies good in business? And our teacher says, yes, because it's normal in business. And
Well-
I said to our teacher, what's the difference between white lies and bad lies? And then she says that white lies is just you cover up just to make sales, just a little.
Just to do what?
You cover up just to make sales,
Make self.
sales, to sell your product.
Oh, to sell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, but if you go to religious, white lies is whatever, it's white lies or bad lies, whatever you call it, it's still a lies and it's not good.
Right. Let's look at an example of what would be a white lie that probably everybody could agree to. Supposing you pull into a gas station tomorrow to get gas in your car, and the cashier says, "Hi, how you doing today?" Which they do in America. "Hey, how you doing today, sir, ma'am?" And you say, "I'm doing fine, thank you." But actually, your whole world just caved in around you 30 minutes ago. Now, do you really feel okay? Hell no. Are you going to spill your guts to someone who doesn't know you, is not interested in whether you are okay or not, but is just doing their job? You're going to say, "I'm fine." And that will be a white lie that everybody could agree to, I think. On the other hand, telling the truth means a very important commitment. It has to change your behavior, because if you're going to continually do things which are difficult to reveal, then telling the truth is going to be a real challenge. If, on the other hand, you decide, first and foremost, that you're going to behave in a more ethical, truthful, honest way, then telling the truth is going to become much, much easier. Now, what will stop you from telling the truth? Well, the ego will leap in straight away and tell you, "Well, no, wait a minute, you've well, we've got to protect ourselves here, haven't we?" See, so are you going to tell the truth, say, in a business deal where if you admit that you can afford to pay 10,000 instead of the 8,500 which you're begging to pay, then that would cost you $1,500. So are you going to do that? The ego is going to tell you, "Wait a minute, this is survival. This is what we've got to do. This is normal in business," as your teacher said. Well, it's normal in business to tell lies. Well, actually, it's not normal to tell lies, because every lie that you tell,
Yeah,
you'll have to do another one.
Yeah, like for example, if you're selling a soap, for whitening.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the customer says, "Really, is it really effective?" And you as a seller, even you didn't use the product, you said, "Yes, ma'am, it's very effective. In just a few weeks, you're going to be white." But you didn't use the product. Just because you want to have a sales, you
Well,
just say.
probably in that case, the woman, I'm taking it, the woman would be asking you, "Well, Miss Beth, if it works, why aren't you white?"
Yeah, and I would say, "Oh, I just use it once in a while."
Okay, just when you want to be white.
Yeah.
Yes, and you were not feeling the need to be white on that particular day that you were selling that soap or whatever it was.
Yeah, but if whatever is it, if it's a lie, it's
Yes.
still a lie. Yeah.
Yes, I often wonder. I used to go to a dentist in the UK who had bad breath. If you ask that person about bad breath, they'd say, "Yes, well, you need a filling," right? Or you've got decay, or this or that. And also, I often wonder why all commercials for hair restorer have a bald doctor recommending it. So yeah, lies. But one of the, to get back to the original thing, the original subject, is that if something is done to you which requires you to be able to confront something which you don't want to confront, there's a case of maybe this is karma revisiting, and you have to ask yourself, are you going to learn the lesson? That's what I was thinking about, and that was the point that was made in the book that I was reading. Is it the answer to the world's problems? Probably not. Is it to do with what we're doing today? Yes, because I thought about it and we have this channel. So that's all of the words that I have to say. I have to go and kill a chicken right now. Only kidding. That chicken's got a name. How can I kill it? Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. We hope that people will continue to help us to gain as many subscribers as we can, so that we can continue to help those who could do with a hand. Right, so here's a foreigner in the Philippines. Thank you for looking in. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. God bless.